Hello and welcome to This Week in Ghost News Network. This is the week beginning March 13th, 2016. And as always, I am Dimitri.
Michael Cartney.
Shannon Collins.
Teresa Santoro. And Pinar Duran.
And thank you for joining us this week on Ghost News Network. We have a good show lined up ahead of us for today. We have our urban myth and legend. We're going to talk about Devil's Kitchen in Gettysburg. Definition of the week is apparitions. Equipment review, we're going to talk about investigation field reports and why we do them and why they're important. This week in paranormal history, we're going to talk about the Boston Massacre that occurred on March 5th of 1770. We have some fan questions to answer. Pinar is going to be going over a paranormal article that she found. And Teresa is going to be talking about our stone of the week. So, yeah, that's what we have lined up. And we have a EVP that we're going to play for you guys later that we captured at Mount Misery Road. And that's what we have lined up for today. And I thought it would be interesting just to announce, moving forward, Ghost News Network is going to be on a bi-monthly schedule. So you guys will be hearing us every other Sunday. This way we can stay on top of it. We are super busy this year. We have a lot of stuff going on. And so we want to be able to give you this show on a schedule and not be erratic. So that's how we're going to do it. Also, moving forward, we have our trip to Gettysburg coming up on April 22nd, and we will be gone that weekend. But in excitement of that, we are going to be talking about all the different urban myth and legend locations of Gettysburg to build up towards our trip away. So you can expect lots of cool talk about Gettysburg in the weeks to come.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So, Mike, tell us what's new in LIPI.
What's new? What's not new? Everything. We got a lot going on. Like you said, we're getting ready for our upcoming trip about a month away. We're in the process of ordering new polos, new shirts, trying to get our new camera for a documentary that we're going to be filming. So that's going to take its toll, I'm sure. Trying to focus on our new DVR systems that we bought. Systems meaning two. Yeah, it's a lot to learn. It's not like our old one where it's just plug and play. This is like an actual computer system, and you really got to like dive into it. So we're in the process of learning both of those. So it's just taking time. We're about to start going back out in the field again, hopefully this Thursday upcoming. We're all looking forward to that. We were just in for the past like 2 or 3 months doing in-house training, so we're kind of all itching to get out in the field. We were over by Kings Park Psychiatric Center yesterday, did a day trip. We had a lot of fun. Checked out some buildings. They're boarding a lot of stuff up. Some of the stuff that was open last year is now boarded up, and I mean they're really going out of their way to keep people out. So, but yeah, I mean otherwise that's about it.
Biggest problem is vandalism. Too many kids are going in there. They're setting fire to the place and stuff like that. And
the biggest problem too is like we were there. I was getting annoyed because we're walking by 93 and there's kids on the roof throwing shit off the top floor of the roof, and these guys, I guess the park people or whatever, they're sitting there boarding up the windows. I walk over to them like, just to give you guys a heads up, there's a couple of idiot kids on the roof throwing shit out, and he's like, well, they're about to get boarded in now. I'm like, awesome. So we kept walking, and then we actually walked behind Macy Hall, which I did that like once, but not all the way back in there, and that was like the first time I ever did that. It was really cool. You know, like all the doctors' houses, and went over by Building 1, which just recently closed, like I think about maybe 2 years ago. It was a drug rehab, and they finally shut it down about 2 years ago. And like already, like the back door was wide open, windows are broken, there's graffiti inside. I'm like, you know, not for nothing. It's only been abandoned for about 2 years now. Why wouldn't they just rent it out for like offices, like small office space? You're not making money on it right now. You might as well make money on it, you know, because you're not going to demo it. You can't. The state can't afford to demo it. So it's. I was really annoyed. Like I was getting annoyed because it's like seeing my tax dollars right here hard at work, I might as well start my own office in there because I practically own the goddamn thing. I mean, if you're not going to do nothing with it, I might as well, So I was just getting pissed off with that. And like I said, like the back door was wide open, so we actually moved the metal container that they had propped it open. We kicked it off and we locked the door shut. But I'm sure, kids are going to find their way in and out and destroying that building shortly. It just sucks. It's a shame as you walk through the facility and you see just everything just deteriorating and nothing's going to happen, The state can't afford to demo it, so what's the next step?
Yeah.
Kids keep lighting fires in there. There was a fire in '93, I think, like a week ago. I mean, you couldn't see it from the outside, but that's the second one in less than a year.
Right.
So, what's next? I mean, I remember Edgewood. If people can remember that far back, it took a while, but people kept lighting fires in that building, and finally people got annoyed and they demoed it. I mean, it was gone. That was it. So I don't know. It's crazy, but
it's a shame because it's such a big part of Long Island history, and I know it's something that they want to shy away from.
They want to shy away from everything, though. Like typical Long Island, they want to shy away from all history. Like look at Setauket Village Green. What's left of it? A triangle piece of land, the size of like a couple of driveways. Like really?
Yeah.
Like that's history. It's the American Revolution. So if they're willing to build up around that, what do you think they're going to do to Kings Park? You'll see a Walmart there eventually, I'm sure, and Target and every other retailer. So yeah, and then eventually when they go out of business, you're going to have another abandoned building sitting on the property. So yeah, welcome to Long Island, everybody. You want me to tell you how I really feel now? Because that's all part of it. But anyway, back to us, which we're more important than where we live. Yeah, we just got a lot going on. So, a lot. Yeah. We have Haunt Fair, which is going to be huge this year.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of trips coming up.
I know we can announce that on Haunt Fair for August, what is that, the 6th through the 6th and 7th, we're doing that.
Right.
We announced, obviously, we're going to be there. We're going to have a number of panels there. And we can confirm that John Brightman and Julie Rose are going to be there as well as guests. So cool. That's what we have in the the paranormal department of Haunt Fair.
Nice.
So we're looking forward to seeing them. Good friends of ours as well. So it'd be nice to see.
Yeah.
It's nice to see good old friends too. So.
Right.
Absolutely.
But yeah. So moving on, we have our urban myth and legend, and Mike's going to break down Devil's Kitchen, which. I'll let you talk about.
Yeah, Devil's Kitchen. Something we actually found out about last year. We took 2 Gettysburg trips last year. One in April and one in June.
Yes.
I think it was. And when we were there in April, somebody mentioned Devil's Kitchen, and they told us kind of where it was. We tried looking for it, like our last day there in April. We couldn't find it, so we made it a point when we went back in June to try to really look for it and see what we could find. And sure enough, people will find it. It's definitely, I want to say, like, untouched area. Like, I don't think a lot of people have investigated this specific spot. So, Devil's Kitchen, the history-wise, is it's a rock formation on the lower slopes of the area known as Big Round Top. Big Round Top was one of the most important strategic locations to control during the Battle of Gettysburg. As for the Devil's Kitchen itself, it is rumored to have been a sniper's nest for Union Colonial Hiram Burden and his infantry of sharpshooters. They controlled the area until the 4th Texas Infantry of Brigadier General Jerome Thomas brigades captured it. A haunted history is people have claimed that mists and silhouettes of soldiers appear in their photos from Big Round Top. Other claims are soldiers walking around the area that people believe to be reenactors, only to find out there were no reenactors in that area that day. Visitors also claim to have extreme feelings of uneasiness in the area. So we'll be going to Gettysburg in April next month, and we will definitely be sending a team to Devil's Kitchen to investigate. So it should be a lot of fun. If we happen to get any evidence, we'll definitely share that with you. We'll see what happens. like I said, I don't think many investigators have investigated this area. I don't really read up a lot on the internet of it, so we'll see how it goes.
I know there's a couple places I'd really like to check out this year. Devil's Kitchen's one of them. I'd love to do an investigation in Culp's Hill.
Yeah, Culp's Hill, Peach Orchard,
Yeah.
a lot of Plum Run, a lot of these locations that nobody really focuses on. Everyone's always Devil's Den or Little Round Top or the wheat fields. Those are like the key focus points. So being now, I think we're going with like 16 people. We're going to be able to cover probably the entire battlefield if we break up into like teams of like 2 and 3. So that's kind of my goal with that, is to really cover such a large area and
It's so
see what we can find.
I'm so excited
so
about
it's gonna
it.
be awesome.
The biggest
so
trip
crazy.
ever, right?
We've been waiting for this probably for a year now. We were talking about this last year when we were there, so I can't wait. It should be awesome. Yeah, I mean, we've never had this many people on a trip before, so it should be interesting. I'm like tempted to have a video camera rolling the whole time, to
We should.
almost like one of those reality TV shows.
I think that's a great idea.
I think it would be hilarious.
I think it would be a great lippy light.
Having 8 people trying to
movie.
use one bathroom.
Lippy light, the movie.
It'll be the busiest that mine bar, that mine shaft bar has ever been if we all go in there.
Seriously.
Pack that whole place out.
I'm so excited for that.
It should be awesome. I can't wait for it. So, like I said, we'll let you know how it goes. We'll definitely go to. That's one of the locations we're going to check out, and we'll let you know what we get.
I would want to investigate that miners bar also. It was literally there for miners
Yeah.
back in the
Oh,
day.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
They
pretty
never took it out. They just left it
They
there.
just built the
with
hotel around it?
Yeah.
That's pretty badass, actually. Wow.
So that would be cool.
Did they have any
Future.
stories? Like,
I don't remember. We didn't really sit and talk to him about that much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
all right.
But
We were way too excited about the price of like 5 shots and 5 beers.
Right.
20 bucks.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He was like a historian, though. He had like written a book or something
Yeah,
about
I bought it.
war in Virginia.
I bought it.
Okay.
So
Nice.
it was cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. Moving on, we have our definition of the week, which is apparitions. And apparitions are the supernatural appearance of deceased person or animal, often too distant to be in the normal range of a person's view, and is uncommon to see like an appearance. A full-bodied apparition shows the entire body of an animal or person. A partial-bodied apparition are shown more often, but only show part of the body, such as torso or arms. They often appear as white or various shades of white or gray, and sometimes solid black. Usually apparitions can appear to hover in the air. It is rare that apparitions show their legs or feet. And a lot of times this is generally because they just don't have enough energy to manifest their full body. They can only manifest portions of themselves. So that is what an apparition is.
Cool beans.
That's it.
We actually got that photo at Pickett's Charge last year in Gettysburg also.
That's right.
Was that the IR camera that we were using?
That was,
That was full spectrum, yeah. Yeah, it was full spectrum that we used.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
I saw. I've talked about this in the past. I don't know if I've talked about it on. I think I've talked about it on the show. We had this one time. We were on a house case in a little Cape house. Remember, we were on that roundabout. Try not to use the client's name, but I can't remember what town it's in. But we were in the basement area, and this is probably 2007, 2008.
Oh, wow.
And you and me and Cheryl were down in the basement investigating.
Oh, yes. I
And,
remember. I remember the name and everything.
And we were sitting down on the floor, and Cheryl's sitting next to me. Mike is sitting across, kind of like by this workbench. And I look up, and I see standing over Cheryl is like this apparition that's standing right above her. But it was the weirdest thing because it was like you could see the lower half of the body as like a spirit, but the top half of the body was all swirly colors.
Like a tie-dye,
Like a
right?
tie-dye
What you
looking,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that
That's
was
crazy.
crazy.
Uh-huh.
And Cheryl believes I was seeing some form of the spirit's aura
Oh, that
and
makes
stuff like
sense.
that. Yeah, so that was really wild. That was really wild. That's probably, I mean, I know we've done Gettysburg and I've seen like a gray man walk across the field and stuff like that, but that's probably like the coolest looking spirit I've ever seen.
Yeah, for sure.
Apparition, yeah.
Right.
So, anybody else have any cool apparition stories you want to tell while we're on the subject?
My thing is, if you can get an apparition on video, play Lotto the next day. Because that's how rare it is.
Yeah.
I know everyone claims, oh, ghost girl caught on film, or ghost man caught on film, and they throw it on YouTube. I'd say 99.9% of those videos on YouTube are fake. Guaranteed fake. It leaves that 0.1% that are real. But unfortunately, it's that rare. It really is that rare. For the amount of times that we've captured, I don't think we've ever really captured an apparition on video. It's hit or miss. It's a possibility. But I would say if we captured 1 or 2 out of the 13 years we've been investigating, that would be a lot.
Yeah.
And that says a lot, because we investigate every week.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah.
it's extremely rare.
It's a numbers game, and we're out there a lot. So.
Yeah, it's extremely rare. It's extremely rare. You might see one, but to actually get it on video, good luck.
That's because you see one, and your camera's facing the ground, and your jaw drops, and you're like, by the time you're able to,
and I don't care
to get it up, it's too late. Show's over.
And I don't care how many years of experience you have in the field. If you have a video camera and you see it, bam, right to the ground, guaranteed.
Every time.
Like, you won't even think about the video camera until after the fact, and be like, oh shit. But it is what it is. That's the field. That's the name of the game. That's what it is. So I think you had something to say about an apparition.
Well,
Teresa?
when I was a kid, like what actually got me into the paranormal first was when I was, my computer used to be in my basement, and I always felt like somebody was sitting behind me. And then one night, my stepmom came downstairs, and she was like, make sure you turn off all the lights, because I never would, because I would be terrified to be down there by myself with no lights on. So I actually turned off the lights, and I saw, I don't know if it was an apparition, to be honest, because it was like white, but I didn't really see like any features, but it was like I saw it sitting on the stairs, and those stairs are the only way to get up to my room. So I mustered up all my courage and I ran up the stairs and into my room. And then I didn't tell anybody about it, because I was like, maybe it was just like my eyes playing tricks on me or whatever. And then 2 weeks later, my older brother comes running into my room with the same exact story.
That's crazy. That's pretty cool.
So that was
awesome.
Nice.
That's good stuff. All right. Pinar, you have anything? You have a story to tell?
I do actually about there's an article that was published.
No, about apparitions.
I'm
Your
sorry.
personal. We'll get to that.
Okay. Honestly, I haven't. I've had some weird dreams, but actually seeing something full blown on, like in Plainview site, I haven't yet to experience that. So hopefully, I will in the future.
You're going to Gettysburg, right?
Yeah. It's so
Yeah, I'll take you to a place in the wheat fields where I showed
Yeah.
where I saw the person in gray walking, and then the following year, Dylan and Hanson both saw it in the same spot I saw it in the year before.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
That's sad to me. That makes me sad. I don't know.
that makes you sad.
Yeah.
Residual.
I know, it's still sad.
It is sad.
But I
I
like it.
enjoy it. It's cool.
I don't know.
Unsympathetic Dimitri says, I enjoyed it. It's
I
cool.
think it's different because, like, sometimes, like, I could feel, like, their emotions and stuff, so sometimes it's sad emotions.
Yeah.
It is.
I have excitement in my heart when I see it.
We'll just pick up on yours.
Yeah, there you go. Start
Tune the
tuning into
channels.
me.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right, moving on, we have our equipment review. We're going to talk about investigation field reports.
All right. Investigation field reports. Field reports are used to document investigation and keep track of readings on all of the equipment that is used on an investigation. Field reports can also be used to compare previous data from the same investigation site. Field reports are also good because we can document whatever has taken place on our investigation. When using different types of equipment on an investigation, your report will have more information about what happened during the investigation. We also record information off the ghost weather station, which is shown below. Check out our website, such as moon phases, solar x-rays, and geomagnetic field. We also record GWS current weather conditions. And that data consists of current temperature, dew point, humidity, barometric pressure, UV index, wind, and weather conditions, such as cloudy, rainy, breezy, fair, etc. Having these documents to look back upon is the best way to declare a site haunted or not haunted, or to show proof of evidence that we may have. We do field reports on every single investigation that we've ever had, including the first one back in 2003. I remember when you called me up about Mount Misery Road.
Yeah.
We investigated Mount Misery one time, and Dimitri calls me up, we got evidence, and he's like, do me a favor, go into the files and go into Mount Misery Road and pull up the old field reports and see when we were getting activity, because it's one of our more active sites. So I was pulling them all up, and sure enough, there was a trend. And it showed through, how many years of investigating Mount Misery? 5 or 6 years of field reports, and sure enough, we were able to pinpoint out pretty much when this site is active.
Right.
So we go back there almost every year, and we get
There's always something.
craziest shit.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure every location that's haunted is pretty much like that. Look at Gettysburg. We went to Gettysburg in April for the past 2 years. Both years we caught stuff.
Right.
Why in April? I have no idea. I really have no idea. I don't think battles really been taking place there in April. I think troops were marching in and getting set up, but the main battles happened in July.
Yeah.
It wasn't even in April. So why in April are we getting pretty decent evidence from Gettysburg? I don't know why. So, after this year,
It's all the
the
Greyhounds.
third year in a row, and if we happen to get something, it's something to really start to look at.
Yeah.
So, but this is why we document all of our evidence and all of our readings to see what goes down. Also with locations, we have such a variety of equipment that tests various things. So you also want to keep a note where, say if you're investigating a place and there's really high, insane EMF, maybe the next time you go back, you might not want to take out too many EMF meters because you're not going to be able to use them. So you take out a static meter instead, or Geiger counters, or radio frequency meters, more thermometers, focus more on video, audio, and photography. These are things why you do field reports, because every location is different. Not one is the same. So, but
Yeah.
that's it.
I love field reports. Especially because of that reason. We found that out. So
Right.
it really, it like I've said it in the past. It's so hard to apply a true scientific method to the paranormal, because you can't put it in a clean room. You can't keep the elements out of it and test the conditions yourself and control. You can't control all of that. But this is the closest way you can do it, by monitoring your field reports and by writing everything down and personal experiences. And who knows, maybe somebody that investigated in 2006 saw something, and then we look back and we find out in 2016, 10 years later, that somebody saw the same thing,
Right.
Or was it the same day? These are the questions that you need to ask. Especially, I feel like anybody that wants to be taken seriously as a paranormal investigator, especially from the scientific aspect, needs to do these things.
Right.
So, yep. Now we have This Week in Paranormal History. And this is for March 5th of 1770, when the Boston Massacre occurred. And I'm going to give the history, and Shannon's going to talk about the paranormal claims. So it was March 5th, 1770. It was a cold and snowy night. A mob of American colonists gathered at the Customs House in Boston, and they began taunting the British soldiers guarding the buildings. The protesters, who called themselves patriots, were protesting the occupation of their city by British troops, who were sent to Boston in 1768 to enforce unpopular taxation measures passed by a British Parliament that lacked American representation. British Captain Thomas Preston, the commanding officer at the Customs House, ordered his men to fix their bayonets and join the guard outside the building. The colonists responded by throwing snowballs and other objects at the British regulars, and Private Hugh Montgomery was hit, leading them to discharge a rifle at the crowd. The other soldiers began firing a moment later, and when the smoke cleared, 5 colonists were dead or dying: Crispus Attucks, Patrick Carr, Samuel Gray, Samuel Maverick, and James Caldwell, and 3 more were injured. Although it is unclear whether Crispus Attucks, an African American, was the first to fall, as is commonly believed, the deaths of the 5 men are regarded by some historians as the first fatalities in the beginning of the American Revolutionary War.
Nice.
So, the paranormal claims are, it's considered one of the most haunted places in Boston. Many people have experienced strange occurrences while taking pictures. They seem to see shadowy faces that were not there when they took the photos. And other experiences include the sound of disembodied voices, cold spots, the feeling of being watched. Paranormal investigators claim to have picked up EVPs and hits on their EMF meters as well.
Yes.
Wicked cool.
It is. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's it. I thought this was interesting.
Super
I
interesting.
would love to go to. I would love to go. I'd love to go there. This is actually a cemetery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where they have the photos and stuff. When I typed it up, I must have forgotten to write cemetery. It happens. But yeah, this is a cemetery, and it's got a lot of activity there, and all 5 of these people are buried there,
That's awesome.
along with some other important people that passed during the American Revolution. So
I'm excited to check it out.
yeah, that's good stuff. Moving on, we have some fan questions that we need to answer. First one comes from Leo G. This was on our Facebook page, and he says he has 19 spirit dolls, and he was wondering, can they physically harm a person if they want? And if they can do that, is it possible that they could kill somebody?
Okay. So, 19 spirit dolls. My first question would be, how do you know that it's a spirit doll? Let alone, how did you get a hold of 19 of them? Can they physically harm a person? Well, there are some claims of certain dolls. The Annabelle doll, Robert the doll, and I think it's in Florida, where a demonic entity is able to somehow possess the doll and things can occur around that. So is it possible? Yes. Is it possible it could kill someone? Anything's possible. I mean, is it rare? Yeah, I have a probably better chance of winning lotto 5 times in a row, getting struck by lightning, and get bitten by a shark in the same day than having a spirit doll kill me. That's your odds.
I was hit by lightning and bit by a radioactive cobra.
If you have 19 spirit dolls and they're legit 19 spirit dolls, my advice to you is put that shit on eBay and make a lot of money.
Yeah, right.
But then you don't have to worry about it harming you or killing you. Let it kill someone else. That's my advice.
We did get a package one time in our personal
Yeah, we did.
Lippy P.O. box. And what year? How long ago was this? This was a while ago, right? Probably like 7-8 years ago.
This had to be back in 2000. Oh my god, 2007.
Yeah.
I go to my P.O. box and I have this pink slip in there saying package is too large for P.O. box. So I go around to the counter and they hand me this giant box. And there must have been about 50 postage stamps on this thing. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So I go in my car, I open it up, and there's a letter. And there was probably about 6 or 7 dolls in there. So I read the letter, and they said that there's these haunted dolls. The dolls won't leave us alone. We figured we'd send them to you, and you would know what to do with them. So I start calling everyone in LAPI. I'd be like, seriously, are you guys like messing with me? Did you guys do this? You know? And everyone's like, no. So I didn't even drive home. I'm like, I don't want this shit near my house. You know, I'm not saying that the dolls are haunted, but
Why take that
you
chance?
never know.
Why take
Yeah.
that chance?
So I went to a clothing bin, and I put them in a clothing bin.
Why would you put them in like a
You
dumpster?
throw them out.
It wasn't a dumpster, it's a clothing bin.
I'm
Why
asking,
wouldn't
why
you
wouldn't
throw
you
them
put
out?
them in a
Because now they went to
dumpster?
someone else.
I don't know. That was the first thought that came in my mind. So.
I don't think they're
I can
haunted.
imagine that.
And then, yeah,
And someone needs toys.
and then Shannon brings home these 6 dolls, and they're the same exact ones that I threw out. No.
Can you imagine?
But, yeah, I mean,
It's so crazy.
you never know. That's all I can tell you.
My aunt collects these porcelain dolls. My aunt Tina in Texas, she collects these porcelain dolls, and every time we would go to stay at her house, me and my brother would always have to sleep in that room, and they were like just all these shelves of these dolls and on this couch. And me and my brother, I don't care what anybody says, porcelain dolls are scary.
Oh my god, they're
Yeah,
so
they are.
scary.
And they're all spirit dolls.
They are.
And I'm like, I would stay up staring at all of them like, I think that one's moving. One of these things is going to stab me in my sleep.
Oh, I hope that.
My grandma used to make porcelain dolls when I was a kid, and I used to.
Did she like to have like some kind of ritual she'd do over them? Like,
No.
wrap them in there,
No.
or-
My grandma might have been a witch, and maybe where I got my witchiness from. But she used to make porcelain dolls, and she made one. I used to be a dancer when I was a kid. She made one of me in one of my dance outfits when I was a kid, and it was like literally 2 feet tall, and it was wearing a clown outfit. Like she couldn't have picked any other like better outfit from my dance recitals, and so.
Do you still have it?
Well, needless to say, I was in my room for one night. I was terrified. We had to take it out, so I went into the basement. We redid the basement, and me and my brother used to play pranks on each other, hiding in like each other's rooms, like in closets or like under the bed or something. And then it broke, but it was fun while it lasted.
That's bad. No thanks. Those things freak me out. It's like Puppet Master.
Yeah, it's creepy.
All right, so the next question comes from Dawn O. She wants to know if we have any cool stories about our own houses being personally haunted.
Oh yeah.
I think everyone's got their fair share of different stories. Being in the field, doing what we do,
We bring a lot of
you're
stuff home with us.
bound to have something follow you home. So, well, yeah, I mean, right? I'd probably say right around like 2007, 2008.
Excuse me.
I was living alone, and I'd be
No,
watching.
you weren't.
I'd be watching TV, and this like shadow person would like peek its head around the corner, and when I looked, it would go back, and I would do this like it was probably like every day, and I just thought I was starting to get nuts. Until I had a couple friends hang out, we were watching a movie, and sure enough, this thing peeked its head out, and all 3 of us looked, and I'm like, "You guys saw that too?" And they're like, "What the hell was that?" And I'm like, "That's my shadow person." But I never felt like fear from it or anything like that. At one point, I was like, "Why don't you just come out and hang out?" You know. But I mean, yeah, it's. I'm sure people have some more frightening stories than that, but that's my story. That's it. Anybody else?
Yeah, I've had a couple haunted houses that I've lived in. The first one was when me and my brother were kids. We both woke up at the same time at one night, and we saw what looked like this guy in this old bomber jacket and like the leather hat with the aviator skin cap, I guess you would call it, with the goggles attached, like walk across our room and into the bathroom, and he disappeared. And we researched the house and found out that the house was owned by like an actress that because Lake Ronkonkoma back in the 40s was basically the Hamptons, and we lived right on the lake, so right off the lake. But yeah, so we researched it and found out that supposedly she had a like a boyfriend that crashed his plane and died,
Oh, wow.
and maybe he was just doing his visit. That was only one time it happened. That was it. And then that was the only experience there. But this house, forget it, all the time, all the time.
Nice.
My brother's hanging out. A loaf of bread flies off the counter.
Wow.
We see shadow people. I was working in my office. A shadow person came out of my kitchen, ran down my hall and into my bedroom. And my youngest son, who's now 5, comes running out. And I saw it and I blew it off. And he comes running out. He's like, "Daddy, did you see that? That shadow ran right into your room." And the door was closed and everything.
It's actually your middle child now.
He's now my middle child. Yeah. And also we had, what else did we have? At the time, he was my little one.
Well, down here,
Yeah.
this kitchen,
Down here we have a
shadow person.
shadow
Well,
person that, like,
sometimes it's white though.
I feel like it's an
And
elderly
blue.
man that's down here. I know others have said that as well. When I first moved into this house, I was mowing the lawn, and I saw some old man standing in the field in my yard, holding like his hands on suspenders, looking at me, gave me a nod. I nodded back at him. I kept going, and he disappeared. Like, it was the weirdest thing. Nothing's been too scary. The only time that I've actually been legitimately freaked out was whenever my son Dean was born. I told you about this, and I was laying in bed. My wife was in the hospital with our son, and my parents had my kids, and it was really, really late, and there was no comfortable place to sleep in the hospital, and so I said to my wife, "I'm going to go home, get a couple hours, and I'll come back." And I came home, and I was sleeping, and then I woke up, and it would have been a few minutes. It wasn't like I was awake. I hadn't fallen back asleep, and I felt the presence of somebody walking in the room, and I was gonna get up and look, but like I didn't want to, like, you know, like you want to but you don't kind of thing.
Right.
And then I feel my bed compress, like somebody's sitting it down next to me, and I hear a male's voice saying, "So open-ended, you know, I can take care of that if you want me to." And I said, "Nah, I'm good, I got it." And I just felt the bed decompress, and I hear the footsteps leave, and I finally get up and I look around. I'm like, "What the hell was that?" Like, Mike was like, maybe it was a succubus. And then, you know, it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world. No. But no, I don't know what it was. But it was like right after, like literally the night after my son was born. And I was, nah, no thanks. I'm good.
That's so crazy.
But when you do this stuff, you go to all these crazy locations, and God only knows what you bring with you.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's pretty creepy. But yeah, we have kids that run down the hall. Me and my wife see them all the time. My friends that come here and hang out here, they see them all the time. Everybody sees them. So yeah, I mean, I remember one time I saw it run down the hall. I was washing dishes, and I came out to yell at Johnny because I thought it was him. And I turned, and I'm like, "Johnny, stop running in the house." And he's behind me, still sitting down, watching TV. It's like, "Daddy, that wasn't me." I was like, "Oh, crap." Well, okay then. Sorry. So, yeah, I try not to pay attention to it or feed any energy into it. I don't need it getting any stronger than it is.
Yeah,
I'm good on that.
that's a good idea.
Anybody else?
My house is crazy. I live around the block from Dimitri,
It's the same ghosts.
and it's like, I've lived here pretty much my whole life, and it's been my whole entire life. Craziness. I've seen my family members that are still actually alive when they weren't home there. I've heard my name being called. I've had things thrown. The scariest thing for me, though, I think, was when I was sleeping, and I had my mannequin doll, because I did cosmetology. It was like shoved in the top of my closet, and I had beads and everything, and I woke up to this head like flying out of the closet at me. And that was like pretty much the creepiest part of it, because there was no way that was just falling out of there. It was definitely stuffed in there for like years, so I have a lot going on there. I'd be here all day if I were to.
Oh yeah. I just summarized really quick.
Yeah, I had a couple of scary experiences at Shannon's house also, but most recently it wasn't really scary. It was more like interesting. I had went there and I was taking a nap, and I like heard somebody come downstairs. And Shannon has a dog, and I thought I heard the dog running in downstairs after Shannon's sister Kristen, and I felt her dog like jump on me, and like I thought that the dog was laying on my chest, but I was like asleep, so I was like, you said, like I didn't really want to like move or anything.
Yeah.
So then Shannon comes home, and I'm like, did Kristen come down here? She said yes, but she was looking for Bentley, who was actually outside. So, ghost dog. Laying on my chest when I'm sleeping.
I think that's my old dog. Because before you were talking about apparitions, after he passed away, I was vacuuming. I used to be afraid of the vacuum, but this particular time I was vacuuming, and I stopped because I saw him laying there. And I was like, oh, not thinking anything of it. And then I'm like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute, it's not here anymore.
And then I turned around and he was gone.
That's crazy. Pinar, anything?
No.
No? By this time next year, you'll have stories to tell. And last and final question comes from Alexandria, and they just want to know if a spirit or ghost, can be sexually attracted to the living, like a living person. Like if they can be attracted to you, or
Well, I mean,
you're assuming the person that came to take care of me.
you have incubus and succubus, which are sexual demons. Succubus is like the woman demon that goes after the male. Incubus is the male demon that goes after the woman. But you pretty much get sexually assaulted. As far as a spirit being sexually attracted to the living, I mean, it's kind of a broad question. I really wouldn't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say because say if you have two people that are married for 60 years, and that's what they've known their whole life, is each other, and the one person passes away. Is that spirit still, I guess, sexually attracted to their loved one? It's possible. It makes sense. But I don't really recall many stories of just a regular human spirit being sexually attracted to a living spirit or a living person. So I don't know. I've never really heard of anything like that. But
It's an interesting question.
it's an interesting question.
Anything's
I don't know.
possible.
Anything's possible.
Oh, yeah.
Casper, you know.
Yep.
Good movie.
What else we got?
Pinar is going to tell us all about her paranormal article.
As we were speaking about dogs earlier with Shannon's ghost puppy, I actually found an article that was published on May 2nd of this year by beforeitsnews.com, and there were claims of a dog suicide bridge that was located on the countryside of Scotland. The bridge was constructed in 1895 and was named after Lord Overtoun, who initiated the building of the bridge. It has been said that since the 1950s, it has had more than 50 dogs who have leapt over the side of the bridge, falling about 50 feet below to shallow and rocky territory. And every year or so, the bridge makes headlines of yet another dog who has leapt to their death. Some of the locals consider the bridge to be a portal linking our world to the next, and that the dogs may be seeing spirits or, a calling of some sort to the bridge wall, provoking them or inducing them to leap over. With each reports, there have been noted similarities amongst the weather conditions, such as it being like a sunny day with clear skies, and in addition to those elemental factors, the most predominant breed of the dogs are long snouts, such as retrievers, collies, and labradors. They even state that even if a dog survives that jump, most likely they do jump again. There was actually a golden retriever named Hendrix, who was the most recent of the dogs to jump, who survived, and his owner, Kenneth Meekley, states that one minute their family was taking a relaxing country walk, and the next minute Hendrix jumped over the bridge. Fortunately, there was some moss at the bottom that broke his fall, and that night when he was taken home, his puppy Hendrix seemed to be in a state of shock and started immediately losing clumps of hair, and was fine by the morning, actually. So there are, certain similarities, whether it's an accidental suicide or if something is drawing them to climb over the bridge and jump below. But there is another explanation that's probably a little bit more justifiable, and that's being that dogs may be attracted to the scent of prey. There are minks that live around or near the bridge, so and minks secrete like a musk-like smell, like similar to a skunk, so they may be smelling that, and that may cause them to leap or chase after it.
That is interesting.
It's crazy stuff.
Are those like hunting dogs?
What?
Those type of dogs? What were they?
Golden
They
retrievers
yeah.
are, yeah.
Golden retrievers, Labradors,
That's why they're
are hunting,
retrievers.
they go prey.
Oh, because they retrieve
Spaniel
things?
stuff.
They're for
Oh,
tracking and
wow.
retrieving, yeah.
Like my old dog used to bring us birds.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Where is that at?
In Scotland.
Cool.
Over Cambridge.
That's crazy. Very cool. Awesome. All right. So, moving on, we have Stone of the Week, which Miss Teresa Marisa is going to go over for us today.
That's me. What is
Relax.
that face?
Perfection.
Just wait until you guys we get the camera going.
Oh yeah, we're going to be live streaming these real soon, and the images should be interesting to see.
So this week I'm doing rainbow fluorite. The reason why I picked this stone is because it's been a very big stone in my life since I've realized my intuitive abilities. I have like so many different types. I have 2 necklaces that I'm actually wearing right now. One's a raw one, one's a tumbled one that my friend got me. I have points, I have a spear, I have like little slabs of it, I have tumbled stones, I have it all. The reason why I feel so attracted to this stone is because it is highly protective and it's a stabilizing stone. It's very useful in grounding and harmonizing spiritual energy. It increases your intuitive abilities, links the mind to the universal consciousness, and develop a connection with spirit. Also, what's cool about rainbow fluorite is it actually has all of the different types of fluorite that are, in the world in it. Green fluorite, which aids in your intuition. It also helps absorb excess energy. It cleanses and renews all the chakras. The blue fluorite that's in it is used with the third eye chakra and brings spiritual awakening and clear communication between the physical and spiritual planes. And then also it's good with the throat chakra as well, with the communication of intuitive insights. Brings calm and serene energy and inner peace. The purple part of it stimulates the third eye chakra and brings some common sense to psychic intuitions. You can use the purple fluorite when you really want to focus on the expression of spirit or communicate precisely with its messages. And then there's yellow fluorite, which is good for harmonizing group energy, and then clear or white, which is good for your crown chakra. So it has a lot to offer in one stone. They're also really, really pretty. It's all my favorite colors. So that is rainbow fluorite, and yeah.
And we love it.
We actually have a page called Crystal Clarity that we talk about a lot of different stones and stuff on, so if you guys want to check that out, that's on Facebook as well.
Very good. We have an EVP that we want to play for everybody. And this is actually captured back in 2013 at Mount Misery Site 3. This is actually that investigation we were talking about earlier in the night where we set up an overnight to go to Mount Misery Road after we had noticed that we had all this crazy activity happening. And at this time, we had begun hearing a voice phenomenon, a VP, of a woman screaming, and we weren't even 10 minutes in. We were still just walking into the location. We hadn't even had any experiences yet. And then as soon as we got in, started hearing this woman scream. And at first we thought it may be coming from the street, but it sounded like it was coming down the pathway, and it was getting louder and louder and louder. And there was, 5, 6 of us there at the time. And we all heard it. And this EVP that I'm going to play is what I captured while we're listening to this screaming. And I'll just play it for you.
Go.
So we're sitting there talking about what the screaming is, and there's this voice, very raspy, saying, "What is this? What is it?" And I don't know if it's talking about like my audio, because it sounds like it's like right on top of my audio. It sounds like it's really close. So that was a really cool EVP that we had captured. So I have to find it again here. I just misplaced it. But I don't know, Mike. Do you want to add anything to that?
To that, no, I don't. How long ago was that? A couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when you played in the group, it was pretty friggin' wild.
Yeah.
No idea what the hell that was, but.
Wasn't that the night we saw the?
Yeah, that was that one. That was our wild and crazy night at Mount Misery Road that we'll never forget. So I'll play it for you guys again. Super creepy.
That is really creepy.
Really creepy. And it sounds like something is talking beforehand, and then it like builds enough energy to say, "What is this? What is it?"
Mm-hmm.
And you can hear me and Mike talking. I mean, it's my audio, and that thing sounds clearer than I do.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
And I didn't pick that up on my audio.
Yeah, and you're standing right next to me.
Right.
And this is, I remember it was like 9 minutes and 40 seconds in.
That's great.
It was crazy.
Yep.
So that is our EVP of the week. And so I want to thank you guys for joining us for this latest edition of Ghost News Network. If you want to find us, you can find us on all the social media websites. You can find us on Facebook. Just search for Long Island Paranormal Investigators. You can find us on Twitter. Our handle is @LIParanormal. And you can find us on our website, which is www.liparanormalinvestigators.com. And you can, you can find us on the Instagrams under Long Island Paranormal Investigators. If you're on our Facebook page and you want to purchase stuff, we do have a store through our Facebook page you can check out. And you can also find us on Google+. So thank you for joining us this week on Ghost News Network. And we'll hear from you guys. And if you have any questions, post them on our Facebook page, post them on our Twitter, leave comments, let us know what you think. And soon we'll be doing the show live with video, so you'll be able to see us as well as hear us. So thank you again, and have a good one. Take care, everybody.
Have a
Good
good night.
night.